Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives of varying skill range. I am the Hades of this episode, Andrew. With me are Dionysus, Keith,
Hello.
and our Aphrodite, Aaron.
Thank you for having me as a guest.
This
I
week,
don't remember. Why am I Dionysus? I don't remember that.
You're the biggest drinker out of all of us.
Got him.
Oh,
Roasted,
okay.
Keith.
Boom, roasted.
Deal with it.
You alcoholic. Except I think I'm the only one drinking beer right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, this week we played Hades 2 by Supergiant Games. Hades 2 is the sequel to Hades 1. All right, so let's get into this. Now, the story of Hades 2, you are playing the daughter of Hades, where Hades has been taken, the realm of Hades has been taken over by the Titan Kronos. He has captured your family, and he is laying siege to Olympus. So you are trying to basically overthrow Kronos, which is hard to do because he is the Titan of Time, and you are trying to free your family and also save the gods of the Olympus. But are they really worth saving? But let's go around and talk about whether or not this is a game you should play or something you should pass on. I will start this off, of course. Hades 2. This was a game. This was a ton of fun. The first one was great. Loved the first one. I remember playing a ton of it. I remember getting the ending, but not the true ending, which we've had some listeners upset that we didn't do the true ending, but I was like, that's at least 40 hours because you had to get everyone to like 10 hearts. And I was like, I don't have time for that. But with Hades 2, it seems like they fixed that problem because they made it way easier to give presents to people and get their affection. So I'm hoping to fully beat this one. But yeah, I already beat at least the first part of getting to Kronos and beating him. But this was a lot of fun. It's very similar to the first, but there's enough to it and a new environments that it did not skip a beat for me.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be super surprised by this, Andrew. I ended up not actually playing as much of Hades 2 as I planned on because I got distracted by Vampire Crawlers. Because, gosh, that game is just so great. But that's not this week. We're not talking about that this week.
I like Vampire Crawlers, but honestly, right now I find it way too easy.
I mean, that is, again, we're not talking about that. We're not talking. That's next week. But Hades 2 is still awesome. Like it's not that I didn't like it or that I couldn't get into it. I just wanted to play that more. But honestly, Hades 2 it's fun. It's definitely a harder in the roguelike, whatever realm you want to put, because it is more of a skill-based one. It's hard to say, I think, right now for me personally, but I think this one feels from a combat perspective a little more difficult, but it definitely seems like it progresses easier. Andrew mentioned you get the gifts a lot easier, all that stuff. But all that said, it's a lot of fun, and unlike other games we've played recently that were sequels to other games, I think that there's no reason you need to play the first Hades to play Hades 2, other than to understand maybe some of the story. But I played the first one, and I couldn't remember what was happening to impact the first one or this new one. So
yeah, I
didn't bother me at all, really.
You don't need to play the first.
So yeah, it's a game. It's awesome.
This is such a good, like, full arc moment for me. I did not care for the first Hades, and it's only because at the time, that genre of game was completely new to me, and it just never clicked. It never made sense to me. I just didn't like it. I didn't like this kind of die repeat thing over and over again. And it made the story feel weird to me, and I wasn't a big fan of it. So as the years have gone by, I've played a ton of games with you dying and repeating and talking about how important kind of that overarching meta progression is. And then I got to this, and I had hopes that, like, I wonder if I'll feel a lot better about this now that I understand this genre. And I did. I loved this. I thought this was.
I thought you were gonna.
I was
there,
yeah,
like,
no.
"Oh, still hate it."
Nope, this was awesome.
Man, did it disappoint?
The story now I look at it, especially now again since I've played a ton kind of in this genre. I always say, like, story is irrelevant. It's irrelevant, and then you get to this and you're like, no, darn it, this is a good way to weave story into a game that has you looping on death all of the time. And you're like, oh, okay. No, I get this now. I didn't understand this the first time I played it because I just didn't understand the genre. Now that I do, I look at this and think, oh, wait, no, the story actually, this totally works. How it's slowly progressing. It's almost to the point where every time I'm dying, I'm like, how do they still have me communicating with people? Like, did they write dialogue assuming it was going to take you 8 times to clear the first boss? And you realize, oh, no, they did. Like, they prepared for that, and they still are drip feeding you the story and adding new elements every time they're coming back.
And they always talk about essentially what you've accomplished. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you got to that boss. Good job, kind of thing.
Yeah, like there's a lot of cool elements where it was like, oh, they came up with this basic loop, which is really common in the roguelike genre, and found a way to kind of intertwine a story that was interesting. Because it is like your character is constantly trying to progress. And I know that happened in the first one. That your character is constantly trying to progress. So death is inevitable and sending you back. I love this though. This really hooked for me a lot. I feel like you're learning new stuff all of the time that I don't remember so much in the first one. You going to this cauldron and
That's
basically unlocking new stuff. It feels like, oh, that just keeps coming with stuff to unlock. Yeah, I'm hooked on this one. This was you know these are good when you get to that feeling of, gosh, all right, one more time. Like one more round. Like I know where I screwed up there. That was a bad idea. All right, I know what to do now. I'm going to go back and try it again. You are a little bit beholden to RNG. They do give you elements to kind of work around that a little bit, but all in all, I had a ton of fun with this. So huge fan. Easily a game that you should play.
So getting into the story of Hades 2, this takes place, I mean, they don't really say, but it's a lot of years in the future. I'm assuming a handful of decades. Because you, as the daughter of Hades, are kind of estranged. You were given away as a child.
Well, hold on. Help me out with this, actually.
Okay.
The story. You're a daughter of Nyx.
No.
Everyone where you're at, they all say you're daughters of Nyx.
No.
You're children of Nyx. What do you mean?
You're
No, that's what they
friends with
say.
the daughters of Nyx. But
So you're related to Hades.
yes, Hades is
You're
your
in the
father.
crossroads. Everyone else there is relatives of Nyx.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were. So this is why I was kind of like, when you kept saying you're a daughter of Hades, I was like, well, yeah, I know they mentioned that, but then they also mentioned that you're all children of Nyx. So
No, like
I don't know.
Nemesis is daughter of is Nyx, Doom, Ares,
Yeah.
and I think there was one other.
Nemesis isn't one of the fates, right?
No.
No.
Because it's
Nemesis is the one that's a jerk to you.
Yeah, Doom
Yeah.
was the one that worked with the Fates, but he is still
Yeah.
technically a son of Nyx.
You know what's so funny about this? And I know at least the two of you can read. There's probably plenty of people out there who've played Smite, and so you have these images of characters. So Arachne,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, it's like this
Little
adorable little
spider.
spider. You're like, that's not the Arachne I know.
And you know, truthfully, it's probably actually more accurate to the mythology, if I were imagine. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it is just funny. You run across these characters, and you're like, I recognize these names and even their design, but not like that.
Yeah. Well, sorry for interrupting. I did just want to clear that up, but go ahead.
Well, I'll get into it later. But yes, anyway, with the story. So yeah, you're the daughter of Hades, but you were given away as a small child because essentially he kind of knew that someday Kronos would kind of come back and take over things. So he released you to a Titaness to watch over you, who is Hecate. That's her name. Who is essentially as a witch, trains you into the art of witchcraft and teaching you all your skills and basically prepares you for this moment to when Kronos arrives and takes over the family. So you are essentially trying to free your family, free the underworld, and also save the gods of Olympus. And it's very much still the same kind of principle as Hades, the first one, where you basically go in, you are getting direct messages from the gods of the Olympus, and they're giving you their boons to give you strength to basically help you on your journey. But yeah, that's basically kind of the story, and rinse and repeat on that. But the story of Hades 2, I'm already going to start off. I don't think I liked it as much as Hades 1. Hades 1, what I liked about the first Hades is that it was more of a personal mission. Like, this is the thing that really kind of irritated me in Hades 2, is that in Hades 1, it was a personal mission. So it made sense. Nobody's helping you. Like, you are trying to get your mother, who's stuck in the overworld, but you, as someone who's from the underworld, can't live in the overworld. So anytime you go up there, you only have like 30 seconds to talk to your mother, and then you die. Like, that was kind of the whole shtick over and over again. And it made sense. Nobody's really helping you because Hades, doesn't want to help you. You're kind of this weird estranged father situation. The Olympians didn't want to help you because they have an estranged relationship with Hades. So it all kind of made sense. It was kind of low stakes, but it was a personal mission for your character. In Hades 2, this is like end of the world. And people, like, the reasons, like, nobody's really helping you. And, like, their excuses are kind of dumb. Like, Nemesis is like, oh, I'm supposed to stand guard here. And it's like, okay. Like, Doom is just like, yeah, even though the fates are captured, I just got to stand here. And it's like, this makes no sense. Why is no one helping you? Like, you're still getting help it makes sense for the Olympians not helping you because they're currently besieged and stuck in their tower. It's like, okay, I get that. But, like, the stakes seem very high and just no one wants to help you.
Yeah, I didn't really think about
any
that.
good hero story.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't think about that. You are kind of right where there is a lot of like discussion about the siege on Olympus, and but I couldn't really tell if that was directly related to Kronos. Was it?
Yeah, Kronos is sending an army to assault Olympus.
Yeah, because obviously at this point I've had a bunch of conversations with Kronos, but the story is still evolving. Yeah. This is surprisingly a long game.
Oh yeah,
for a game that is rinse and repeat kind of setup. When I looked at the time to play, I think it had it at almost 40 hours.
And if I do remember a little bit from the first one, it almost becomes so much more story driven kind of by the end, because you get to a point where you've maybe not maxed everything out, but everything's just leveled up. You have everything unlocked, and even what you're doing, so you can kind of breeze through those kind of repeat missions a little bit quicker, as Andrew was saying in the first one, where you're going to try to talk to your mother to progress the story and those types of things. So I haven't gotten to that point in this one, but I am curious if it gets to that a little bit more, where it's, I mean, obviously you're focused on the story the whole time, but like, does that make sense what I'm saying?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Andrew's looking up.
I had to look at the
gonna
time
sell
to
it.
beat because I usually have this pulled up, but in this time. So like I said, in the first Hades, I never got to like the full final ending because you had to max out everyone's relationship and then do like another fight for the Olympians. So Hades, the first Hades, you're looking at 23 for the main story, which is what I did, and then 95 for completion.
It's crazy.
Hades 2 is 30 and a half hours for the main story and 104 hours for completion. So I was sitting there, like, when I'm playing Hades 2, I'm like, man, this feels quicker and smoother. Like, okay, I could probably beat this game. Like, this one feels like it's more manageable. Apparently not. Apparently it's longer than the first Hades. So that makes me kind of sad. Now I don't think I'll be able to fully beat this game.
Yeah, you'll deal with it. It's been a fun experience, but the story, how it kind of slowly starts to reveal itself as you're going through there. And again, in kind of funny moments, like, for instance, like I was first introduced to Kronos. You get that kind of first going from the first area to the second area. You meet him for the first time. And then I remember kind of like dying earlier than I expected on one run. And then he shows up again in that same spot with another set of dialogue. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. I kind of expected not to see him until I progressed further. But no, he came back and you still end up having a different conversation with him at a different time. And I just hats off to them. It's just clever writing to make what is really repetitive feel like a constant evolution.
Yeah, but there's one thing with the repetitiveness that got a little annoying for me. To me, I felt like this game got a little heavy-handed with the girl bossness sometimes. The constant, oh, you'll never do it. It took 5 of us, and oh, you're too weak, which was also dumb. It was contradictory because I thought Hades gave you away for anticipation of this. But anytime I kept going to Hades, it's just like, oh, you can't do this. You're not good enough. And it's just like, what? I thought that was the whole purpose of me. I felt like some of it was a little heavy-handed of like, oh, you're not going to do this. Like, okay.
maybe I was missing all of that stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
don't-
like.
I mean, I
think
didn't get that far, but I don't know. I at no point did I thought it was more just her like avenging her family.
And the way I look at it is like these are actual mythological like people.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were gender swapping people. So the whole girl boss thing is like,
No, it's just some of the dialogue of it, of them basically talking about how you're kind of weak and inferior, and you're not gonna be able to do it. It's not like
She's
it's not the
also
gender
supposed to be
swapping
like
stuff. 'Cause-
young though too, right? Like
Yeah,
yeah,
but like I said, like I thought that was her whole purpose was that you were kind of a hidden,
she's
spot,
also
like-
not like a fierce warrior like Nemesis is.
Well, she was. She was trained her entire life for this.
Yeah, but that's not like her character build isn't indicative of somebody. It's like of somebody trying.
Like I said, to me, it was always Hades. It was always the dialogue I had talking with Hades. He always basically was just
Hades
like,
is
"Oh."
her dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was another part of the writing that also made no sense. He was just very much like, oh, I'm just going to stay here. I'll give you a power, but I'm just going to stay here, even though you're not going to do it. And it's just like, okay. Every time you talk to him, and I was just like, okay, I get it.
I mean, that just sounds like what Hades would be like, and Hades was the same way with
Then why
you
did he give
in
up the
first-
daughter? Like, this is what I mean. He trained her. He was like, here, you're going to Hecate. She's going to train you for this.
Because
And
he
you're there, and he's like, you
knew
can't do
that
it.
the fate was for her to go there, so she could save everyone. Like I don't. I feel like I'm still just missing something here.
Did you guys ever interact
I-
with Hades?
Yes.
I
Once.
don't know if I did. Maybe
See,
that's
we
what
only
my-
did once. It was like I
But-
said, I've
Still, just I don't know.
I had one really epic run where it was like the worst time to have an epic run because like I had to leave.
Oh,
And I
well,
was
this
like,
game saves your position very well.
what do you mean?
Like it saves you in your room. Like if you need to quit, this game does a very good job with.
Oh,
Like,
does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't want to risk it. I was like, oh, I just got to keep going. And I was just on an epic tear that I still have yet to repeat how good that was. But yeah, that was like the one time I got really, really far. And that was kind of a bummer because then you're dead and you're like, well, I do it all over again. But
Okay, Keith.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, that's where you had talked about the slave to the RNG of this game. Sometimes is you get those runs sometimes where everything is just falling into place. You're like, yes. Like I wonder if I could just get this skill, and then it pops up. You're like, there it is.
Yeah.
It's the one.
I mean, do we already want to get into gameplay?
yeah, might as well. That's where the fun part is.
Yeah. So as the gameplay goes, as I said, it's a top-down hack and slash action RPG. You have your dodge, you have your attacks, you have your special abilities, you get magical spells, get some ultimates. You have 6 different weapons you can choose from, or is it 5?
I thought it was 6.
I think it's 6.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with 6.
I'm
Why
trying,
not?
I'm trying to visualize the circle.
I know, me too. That's what I said. Yeah.
Well, I know there's
No journalistic
4
integrity here.
initially, and then I remember thinking, boy, there's 2 more. So I'm going with 6.
But yeah, you have different weapons with different play styles, different kind of attacks, and you're essentially doing your runs. You have 2 different paths you can kind of take. You either continue your path in the underworld, where you're going down to try to kill Kronos, save your family, or you can go up to the overworld and try to help the Olympians and free the Olympians as they're being besieged. So I like that they had to have those 2 different areas. But as you're progressing, you go through your bosses, and if you die, you go back with all your loot, upgrade your base, upgrade, your people, give people gifts, upgrade your relationships, collect new trinkets, rinse and repeat. Typical roguelike. But yeah, as far as the gameplay goes, it's very, very similar to the Hades one. Like, the only thing I think is different was the B button, right? The binding circle you got. I don't remember
that's
Hades
what I was
having
trying to
something like
remember.
that.
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
so
it's an XY dash is really your main 3.
Yeah. X your main attack. Y is kind of your special ability. A is your dodge. B was your casting, which is you always cast a binding circle, but obviously you can morph it to something different. That from what I remember is very different from Hades, which makes
I
sense
think
because
that
your
was
character's
just
a
like-
witch.
Sort of almost just like an auxiliary magic spell is sort of what it was. Like I think it was still a cast, but I think it was just you would pick one up along the way. It didn't have a default cast per se, or if it did, it was probably tied to the weapon, is my guess.
Well,
But either way,
if I remember correctly, when the game was pitched, the idea was it Zagreus in the first one.
Yeah.
He was mostly melee. He was a warrior. So his whole thing was kind of this in your face, kind of full frontal attack. And then she's supposed to be a witch. And so her attacks are far more built on distance and casting than anything else. I think
You're still
Yeah.
pretty up in their face because it
you
still does your
that's
weapons.
kind of my thing. There's
you've
a,
got
there's
your
a
weapon.
But there is
The base
I think it
staff.
just depends on the weapon. 100%. I get it. Like there is obviously a lot you can do from distance that you couldn't do in the first one, but I don't think it's that much of a difference.
Yeah, I want to say the first one had. I know it had the bow, maybe a crossbow too. Like there was 2 ranged weapons.
The one that always made me laugh, because I remember one of the weapons of the first one was just a gun, which always kind of made me laugh. I'm like, this is supposed to be like ancient Greek, and it's just like, yeah, you have like swords, you daggers,
And a
and the last one,
Uzi.
it's a gun. It's just a gun.
AK-47.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Like, which they kind of have in this one too. You have like a rocket launcher as one of the weapons.
I want a rocket launcher.
Yeah, you have
do that.
power fists with mounted rockets on your shoulders.
I see no problem with that. I read about that in all the mythology books.
It's
Which
fine,
I
it's
do
fine.
love. I do love this game. It's supposed to be like Greek mythology, and like it does pretty well with it. But there's random things that are very not Greek, such as an electric guitar, drums, electric microphone, a rocket launcher.
You sometimes get critical on the weirdest things. Like
Oh,
it's a video game.
I'm not docking points, but it's just things like that just kind of make me laugh. Where it's like it's very heavy Greek, and then it's just like, oh no, this is a rock band going on here. It's like, okay,
From
It's just-
Skilla.
It's just like to have a little bit of fun.
oh yeah, and I'm not blaming it for it. It just makes me chuckle. Like
No,
Like,
you're
if I was
you're
thinking
you're
Greek
absolutely
weapons, I'd-
hating on it.
I would think like a mace, you do something, I don't know, but even then that's not really Greek. But I don't know, a shield. I would think a rocket launcher or a gun.
So, help me out here. Andrew, you've obviously played a lot of this game. You guys have played the original. I have a couple of questions. One, is there a place where I can see my relationship to the other characters?
Yes.
Obviously, I've been donating these things. Is there a place where I can track?
Yep, you have to unlock it.
Okay,
I'm
so
assuming you got the book, like the grimoire, right?
like the big.
The bestiality, or not the bestiality.
Is that yeah, okay?
Okay.
Whoa!
There goes our PG-13 tag.
Yikes!
You know what I mean?
The bestiary, I think.
There we
Bestiary,
go.
thank you.
Thank you, Aaron,
I
for
think it's
saving
the word you're
episode.
actually looking for.
You got
Is that the book that
right.
pops up like in updates? Okay.
So you upgrade that book, and it shows you all the relationship, and it shows you the hearts and like what heart will unlock something.
Okay. So then, secondary question, possibly attached to that. So I noticed that a lot of my runs will have a lot of commons and sometimes rares that pop up boons as you're going through. How do you upgrade those so that they're more likely? I'm assuming there's things higher than rare. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think I might have seen an
Heroic,
epic.
I think, is the highest.
I might have seen an epic. How do you upgrade those? And is there a place to kind of theory craft it a little bit? Like the thing that bothers me is like I'll have 2 options to pick a door, and even after all these runs, I'm not like 100% sure if I have a better chance of something on one over the other. Like I kind of feel like they all have a little something good. Is there like weird synergies I'm missing here? Is there any way to see that in this game?
I mean, I could be wrong, but as far as synergies go, I think I normally personally tend to build the synergies just off of the choices alone, not on the idea of rarity that I'll get behind them. So,
Well, sure. I can't assume. I can't assume if I go to this guy, I'm going to get a rare out of him. I can't assume that because that's likely I'm not. I'm likely going to get 3 common options. I'm just more curious. Like, are like really good people? Are they just like, oh, I'll never touch a Hermes? Like, if Hermes
I
is
don't
an
know.
option,
I
don't
haven't
want
looked
it.
up like builds.
Yeah, I just wonder if there was something in the game that kind of you could see what could be offered by each person.
well,
So
what's
when you give-
interesting?
Okay.
Oh no, go ahead, Andrew. You probably have a better answer.
Well, the thing that you can normally do is like if you have a god you really like, and when you give them a gift, every time you give someone a gift, they always give you some sort of token,
Yep.
like, a perk, And any god you give it to usually gives them their perk, which is when you take their item, you have a higher chance of seeing them, and it has a higher chance of upgrading one of the boons they give you. So if you want to get those legendary and stuff like that, like if you really like Demeter, she does a lot of frost.
Yeah.
You could take her boon with you, like her thing, and she'll appear more often. You have a higher chance of finding her, and the things have a higher chance of being a higher rarity. But as far as like increasing your luck for a generic one, I don't think so. You could in the first one, but I don't know about this one.
I feel like I've seen people speed this game before, and like all their options are all really good. Like all 3 options none of them are common. They were all like rare or higher.
It
mean,
might
I would
be
have
just
to
depending how
imagine
your
it-
affection level is with them.
That's what I
Yeah.
would guess. And wasn't that the first one too? It was just
It was
tied
in the
to
I
first
think
one
it
that I
was
saw
actually.
because one thing I noticed, and I don't know if there's really a correlation to it, but on the doors themselves, so you'd have you have the icon itself that tells you, maybe the god that it is, or it's a health boost, mana boost, whatever it is. But there would sometimes be like another icon above it, or sometimes with the gods, I would notice there would be like up arrows kind of floating around it. Am I crazy, or is that
No,
No,
that
actually, I
that
think-
shows you it would have a higher like
so
chance
those
of
could
like better stuff on it.
So like if you saw that, then you would. But although I feel like when it was that, it was usually like both doors would have that option. But I noticed like sometimes it would tell you like this one's going to lead to the boss, and it would kind of give you little warnings and kind of heads up about what was
You
coming
get the
too, which was
boss,
kind of nice.
and then you get one that's like a scroll. It would look like a little scroll next to it, like a parchment paper. Like I noticed those symbols popping up a lot on the doors.
Like as
There
like an
isn't much of
additional
there isn't much of a tutorial on this game. Not that I think that's a problem. It's not like it's hard to figure out.
Yeah.
But there are things like this where, in the grand scheme of it, like when I'm doing a run, like obviously you have the RNG on the gods that you're presented with, and then you have the RNG on what they're actually providing you. So I'm trying to figure out how to maximize this. Like clearly sometimes I'm going through a run and I'm like, oh, none of this stuff is making much of a difference for me right now. And it's like a big issue. But I'm like, all right, well, did I just pick wrong? Or was things just not in my favor here? I'm not really sure if there's things that I can correct here. I mean, Keith makes a great point early on where this is very skill-based. Like, this is not an auto shooter like so many of these games can be that I also love very much. But, this is very much you need to be twitchy and be very smart on your movements and when you're kind of doing your spells and stuff like that. So there are times where I'm like, did I die because I was stupid? Or did I die because RNG was not in my favor? And I'd like to know if it's the RNG, well, how do I maximize this?
I actually feel like this is more skill based than RNG, like
Yeah.
you being a slave to RNG.
That's what I was
one
gonna say, is
time
I think
had-
it's-
the one time I had an epic run was because I had 2 chaos doors show up that were like, it was giving me like 18 health after every room. So I was just never losing enough health to like die. So I felt like, RNG was a huge factor here. And I was like, is that how I'd have to get to the end? Just really good RNG kind of helping you along. It feels like that a little bit.
See, now, so for me, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's times where it really helps you, but anytime for me, my favorite weapon was the Skull of Raval. Anytime I just had that weapon, I was easily getting at least a Tartarus.
Yeah, which one's that? Which weapon was that?
That's the one where you literally throw the skulls. You have 4, like you have ammo, so you have to throw the 4. Well, you don't have to throw the 4, but you have to press Y. You do a dash, but it recalls them back. But it basically will hit an enemy, and when you throw the skull, it does a little explosion. And when you call it back, it goes through enemies and hits them as well.
Okay.
Did you not get that one? You both are looking at me weird. Like, did you guys not
No,
get that
I mean,
weapon?
I didn't.
Did I just think those were daggers?
No, like the daggers was the second weapon you got. Where you got the dagger and the
Yeah.
scythe.
Andrew, what do you? Okay, hold on. You're talking about a rocket launcher. Now you're talking about skulls. I don't.
Well, skull. Okay, hold on. Skulls. You're a witch, so throwing a magical skull makes a little more sense than
But which
shooting
one's the
missiles out of your
rocket
back.
launcher?
I don't think he
That
was
was the
saying
very
it's
last
crazy.
one.
I think he was just saying he doesn't remember.
No, the last one, it was 2 power fists and a rocket launcher on your back.
I've played with all of the weapons, but I do not remember either of those.
So here's what and I go back to kind of what I was saying about the weapon count. Is
Googling this
there's
now.
4 that you can, well, you have 1 unlocked, and then there's 3 others that you can unlock initially. At least that's where I'm at right now. But there is more circles, so I know there's more weapons that I can get that I haven't unlocked the ability to unlock. I'm wondering if you just haven't unlocked the ability to unlock those, but you've unlocked the 4 main weapons, maybe, Aaron.
You could be right.
And I don't know for sure, but that's my guess.
Okay.
Here it is. I have the Wikipedia.
So
Way too much journalistic
So
integrity.
you needed to unlock with cinder and adamant after crafting Revolve.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
Revolve the Argent Skull. And then
So-
it was Zint the Black Coat is the one with the rocket launcher.
So I think you're right, Keith. Like I think I can see that those weapons are there, but I don't think I can select them. I think you're right because the others look very familiar to me. I've obviously used the other 4 weapons. The other 2 I don't think I've ever used. Where do I go to craft them now? See,
Same place.
Yeah, I think it's just they're just not actually in the menu. I'm assuming you have to do something specific that unlocks the ability to craft them.
I don't think I've done that. All right, well, that gives me something to go do next. I do like that about this game. I know sometimes I can get a little frustrated with games that I feel like, you know me, I'm the yellow paint guy. You got to give me some yellow paint here. But this game does a good job of making you feel like you're always progressing somewhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, it bums me out a little bit that there's just these 2 weapons that I didn't realize I just haven't unlocked yet. So
Well,
you
even
didn't notice that there was like circles that didn't have a weapon in it yet?
No, you're not wrong. Here's what I do, honestly, and maybe this is dumb, maybe it's not, because like the axe is an absolutely horrible weapon. I cannot play with that. But I am kind of a sucker for the weapon that gets a bonus on it.
Oh, yeah.
So the problem is I just picked the one that has the bonus on it. So I haven't really been looking at what it was on. I just see, oh, bonus, I'll grab it. And if it's the axe, I'm just pissed. Everything else, I'm like, all right, I can work with this.
See, I love that in a game though, because I mean, it does. They do this a lot in roguelikes. Most recently, I was playing Absalom. I think if that's how it's pronounced, that came out,
that's cool.
which is a lot of fun, and it has that feature where it's just like, hey, you get a bonus if you play this, and it encourages you to just shake things up because otherwise I have a tendency in these games to just stick to my lane. So as much as I might hate a weapon like the axe, I'm gonna do it though because I'm gonna get 50% less to gain 10% more of that less than 50% because I'm awful with this weapon, but by golly, I'm gonna try it because I want that bonus. So I'm with you, and I actually really like that feature in games.
I love Keith always loves to play every other game besides the game of the week.
Honestly,
I was playing that weeks ago. I
okay.
didn't touch that.
Keith is honestly kind of the perfect Game Pass user, though.
He really is.
He kind of does dabble in just about everything, and he's trying everything. So, you know, obviously doing this podcast, we kind of have to focus on one for the week. But Keith is dabbling in everything.
I am a dabbler. I'm a dabbler.
You are a
in
dabbler.
the games. But I personally I just got to unlocking the flames. Like I said, this is how far I've gotten in this
The
game.
flames
But
is my second favorite weapon. I love that one.
That was
I
pretty good.
I didn't like I unlocked it right before we started. I was like, man, I'm gonna like this weapon. But yeah, I just the one thing I noticed about this, going back to it being skill based, like just overall with roguelikes, they all have their different elements. Like you mentioned, Aaron, like your potatoes, they're still RNG heavy, but you can guide that RNG really heavily. Games like this fall to me in like a Dead Cells type of range, where if you don't do well with the fighting, the RNG is just not gonna save you at any point, and you can't really manipulate it. Like you
Yeah.
can in certain ways, but not in. You really just have to find ways to roll with it at the end of the day, because it's little things that, again, I don't remember it mentioning, but if I correct, like collision damage isn't a thing, but I play like it is because my mind immediately thinks if I run into them, I'm going to. But it's not about that, and I'm terrible at tracking the bullets because my mind has been so trained by these like auto shooters too. So there's things like that I struggle with sometimes, and I found myself like I think I've only gotten past Hecate 2-3 times maybe. Like I'm genuinely struggling to just get past her at this point.
What a loser.
I know, I feel that. But it's not even like I'm not even mad about it because I don't think it's the game, and I know that I can work with it because it's all very manageable. It doesn't feel Souls like, it doesn't feel punishing. It's more just like you have to pay attention to it, and it's almost like a rhythm game. And I think I said this in the first Hades, is it's like you kind of just feel the rhythm of the fight a little bit at points. I might have lost Aaron.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I noticed that my camera was frozen for some reason, and so anyone not watching us on video right now, I just disappeared. I don't know what my camera it's now looking up in the sky for some reason. It's green.
It just
It was-
died.
It's sick
It
of
literally
looking at
just
you.
like, I'm
It's like,
out.
I'm out of here.
It was blue a second ago, and now my computer's like, "Would you like us to use your phone's camera?" No,
Okay, I was wondering what that symbol was. I'm like, is it
no,
your
I'm
phone
good.
now?
Thank you.
Yeah, it
No.
literally says your camera's your Pixel right now.
Does it really?
Yeah, it says Pixel 10 Pro.
It's trying to use it right now. Yeah, my camera just died. It is now sad and depressed, looking at the ground. Sorry guys, I don't know what just happened, but so I won't be on video, I guess, but I do have audio.
Yeah,
Aaron, just share your screen or something. Put something.
yeah. Sorry, I mean, I was going to record footage of this, but unfortunately, I got called in a couple times at work today, so I literally had no time
Can I put a picture up?
to record my gameplay.
I'm trying, Keith. I'm trying to
Just
put
find a
something up
picture
here.
of you.
Because I think it'd just be funny to add a picture here, but I don't think I can. I'm
So
gonna
if
keep
you can pull it up in a browser, I think you can just tell it to share your screen.
Should I pull up? So I could just have it where my phone's up, and then I could just carry around my phone. That'd be fun.
Just play with all your baseball or your football cards.
Football cards. But yeah, I had a ton of fun with this game. Yeah, it is very twitchy. It is very frustrating when you're like, I hate when you're just like having a bad round, and it's like, I'm just like, I kind of just want to kill myself just to end this because this is just.
You can do undo
I
night.
know. You can, but I'm always like, no, I gotta.
Is there an
try.
achievement for that? I was gonna try it and then I just.
I don't think so.
But I always assume if there's like a special message, like I don't know, there's like a weird warning message about undoing the night.
Oh man.
Like pretend
Well,
it never happened.
did you guys see this game has some very meta moments?
I did not.
Such as
Well, Aaron, did you? All right, so Aaron, you got the Chronos, right?
like to fight him?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's the first one that I first found, which was very funny. If you pause the game when you're playing with Chronos, he talks to you. He's like, "What are you doing? I am the Titan of Time. Only I can stop the world." Like, I thought he was going to unpause the game for me, which was like, "Please don't," because like one of my kids was screaming or something like that, and he was like
Please don't.
threatening me. Yeah, but then he was just like, "Okay, I'll let you have this respite this one time." But then I pressed pause right after again. He was like, "You're doing this again?" It was pretty funny. But it's the same too. I tried testing it. I couldn't get it to happen, but I know if you affect the audio with the fight with Skilla and the sirens, they also get mad. Like, I think if you mute music, they start calling you out for it. That like you're trying to silence them.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I didn't try and do that though, but
But yeah, the boss fights in this game are super fun. There's a couple that just irritated me. I hated fighting Cerberus because a lot of the weapons are very up close,
Yeah.
and I could just not dodge his ground slam because it does an initial and then it does another blast after. And every single time it kept hitting me. And I'm like, I don't get how to do this with a melee weapon. Yeah, Cerberus was an annoying fight. And then the other one that always irritated me was the Cyclops, which I'm assuming you didn't do, Aaron. If you never beat Kronos, you probably never went to the overworld.
no.
But he was another one where like he just anytime he walks and stop, like every time he walks or jumps, it creates shockwaves, and it's just annoying to deal with. I just feel like I'm more dodging than I am attacking in the fight, and like that just got irritating. But the Kronos fight is really fun. I did beat him once, which
So you beat the game?
well, you're supposed to beat the game multiple times. This is how the first Hades was too, that you had to beat Hades himself because he's preventing you from going to the overworld because you're trying to find your mother. But once
Yeah.
you go to the overworld, you can kind of talk to her, but you only can live for like 30 seconds. So you kind of say a few things, die, and you have to basically build a relationship with her 30 seconds at a time. So you got to beat it like 10 times in order to finally get her to kind of come. And then that's the same, I think, with this game. You beat him, and you're trying to send a message to the past to your brother, and you got to kind of build a rapport with him and build a plan with him. So no, I didn't fully beat the game because Kronos is time, so he keeps reviving himself.
Oh, all right. Well, that's kind of cool. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, but I didn't get to beat the overworld yet. I got close. I got to what's his Prometheus. I think he's either the second to last boss, but yeah, I got to him a couple times and I just couldn't quite crack him yet. But yeah, this game, as you said, Aaron, is a ton of fun. It just makes me every time I do a run, I'm like, I'm ready for another one.
Yep.
Well, and one of the things I was actually thinking about earlier that, like, we were talking about synergies. I don't know if there's one that exists for every single combination, but you can unlock duo skills.
Yeah.
So if you have a certain skill from a certain god and another one from another, like, you'll get combination skills. I mean, and then there's also ones that obviously complement each other too, but like there is just those added layers to it. So I think you can get there, but I think it goes back to I think Aaron's right. It would be nice if there was a way in that sort of overworld, in the village or whatever you want to call it, where you could sort of play around with, okay, if I take this skill, and this skill, does it build the synergy? I think that it builds, so I don't waste that out in the field. But I guess at the same time, like, given the three options, I might be able to select to build that synergy. The other two aren't going to vastly change things, I guess. Like if I'm banking on getting a certain dash skill from a certain god, and I choose to select the not the dash skill from that god, it's probably not going to change my run because it's still just about how good I am at the game, which is not very, for the record.
So Craig here in the chat also thinks Hades 1 is better.
Of course he does.
I wonder. I kind of want to go back and play it now because I didn't like it because I just didn't understand it. But now that I've played this, I wonder. Everyone seems to like Hades 2, though. Hades 2 seems to have a huge fan base.
Well, that's the thing. To me, they're both very similar. Like, I feel like you can't go wrong with either of them. For me, I think I just gravitate a little bit more to Hades 1 because I think the story is just a little better because it's a personal journey. And to me, I like that. I like that this character is trying to basically piece together a broken family. Well, like, which is in theory, like, you think, oh, it's like smaller stakes, but I don't know. I like the personality of it. But this one, like I said, some of it seems to have plot holes, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Why is no one helping me?
See, this is where you worry too much about the story, Andrew.
I know,
but
I like the story.
I know, and Aaron is right. Like, Hades overall in the first one and Hades 2. This is a fantastic example of where a story can add so many layers to the game, but I still feel like I could take all of the gameplay of Hades or Hades 2 and be completely content if you had none of the overworld stuff, none of that overarching connecting things, make it more like a brotato, none of it really truly matters. I would still have fun with this game. That said, all of the story makes it better. It just is an added layer to it.
I don't know. I'm kind of at the point where I think the story is the reason this game is so different. I can't think of another roguelike out there right now.
I just don't think the story is important for every game. Like, what was it we were playing recently where Andrew was dead set on the fact that the story mattered?
Mini shoot?
Yeah, Mini Shoot.
Yeah.
Where he was so mad.
I wasn't dead set. I'm just saying, if I had the option of no story or at least some attempt at a story,
that's right.
I'd rather have an attempt at a story.
But I'm just saying, I don't think it's always necessary, but I think it can add layers, and Hades is a perfect example of that.
I'm just saying, like, when it comes to this genre of games, so the roguelike genre, I feel like a lot of the ones we play are not very story heavy or story.
Yeah, the story is just a means to an end. This is what you're doing. Okay, go have fun.
Like Ball Pit, we love Ball Pit. I do not care about the story. Even Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, which was my favorite game of last year. It doesn't have a story, and that's totally fine. It doesn't need to have one. It's still an amazing game. This feels like, oh, that's what separates this game. That's what makes this game completely different. Is
Absolutely.
that story is its backbone. I don't think you could remove that, and this game would be half as interesting.
I absolutely agree with you, Aaron. Because yeah, like we've covered a lot of roguelikes, and they're always, the story is just a means to an end. This is, I think, the only one that really has a good, strong, heavy story. Like Dead Cells had a bit of one. Like it has some lore and stuff, but it wasn't its main focus. But like this one is like, no, like we have a story to tell. To me, it felt like they wrote the story first and then built the game after.
I don't disagree with that. And I don't want to sound like I'm saying the story isn't good or isn't important in this. It
No, you are. You're
absolutely
hating on
Implied
is.
it. He didn't say it, but you did imply.
Listen. This is not Andrew and South of Midnight. Like, I am not wrong on this. I'm just saying.
What was I wrong about South of Midnight? Oh, I said
You said
something
the
about
music was terrible, and
I didn't
you
say it was
really just wish
terrible.
it didn't happen. You
Oh my
did.
God.
All of those things are true, and everybody knows it.
No one else
But-
fact check it. It's true.
Nobody look it up. Actually, do go listen to that, download it, and then agree with me that Andrew was just absolutely ruthless for no reason. But what I'm saying is that Hades 2 is it's a fun stand-up game as it is, but yeah, it just is a perfect example of the story improving it. Because I don't think a story would have improved Brotato. It wouldn't have improved so many other
Yes,
games.
it would. Are you an egg or a potato?
You're a
Like,
potato,
I want to
Andrew.
know.
You're a potato.
You're an egg.
Why would you?
I don't know. Why is it called Brotato
we
and
do
you're
need
an
a
egg?
story, though, to figure that out.
That's what I mean.
I mean,
don't
my
know.
kids call it the egg game. Whenever they
go.
call it, they just were like, "Are you playing the egg game?" And I'm like, "I think I'm a potato." And they're like, "You don't look anything like a potato. You're clearly an egg." And I'm like, "I don't
A
know.
potato's lumpy. Yeah, your
This game
character is
doesn't give me a
smooth-
story. I don't know."
See, and that docks points for that game. But you know what? Also, this game also incredibly excels in is the audio. The voice acting in this game is great, and the music is really good.
The music is super good in this game. Super, super good.
Like Super Giants did not just like half-ass any aspect of this game. Well, it's like, because like I feel like you can in a lot of roguelikes. It's just like, yeah, we don't need audio, we don't really need a story, we just need to make the gameplay fun. That is usually what you just all you need to do. No, Super Giants is like, no, we're going all out in all these things. Yeah, the music in this is really awesome. Specifically, the fight with the Song of the Sirens is they do 2 different songs. I don't know if they unlock other ones, but they're good songs. They actually have pretty clever lyrics, and the music works with the gameplay that's going on of them kind of saying some of their attacks they're going to do. It's super clever.
South of Midnight's getting 2 mentions tonight because you were angry about lyrics in that game, and now we're just praising lyrics in
You are
music.
just making things up here, Keith.
No,
King of contradictions here. This is awful. I
This
can't
is-
believe this is happening.
Keith,
But
that's an excellent point. Because that's that Sirens, that Skilla fight, that is very similar to a South of Midnight fight where the song is about the fight. Andrew hated it in South of Midnight. He thought it was
Miserable.
cheesy and stupid and uninteresting and the worst music he's ever heard. And in this, for some reason, it's clever and good and the best thing he's ever heard. It is a little bit contradictory. It's not a little bit. It's a very contradictory statement. Very.
Andrew, immediately change your title right now on Riverside to King of Contradictions. We need
Yeah,
this to
just
happen.
a liar.
The worst. But yeah, the music is great here, and I don't know. See, there were certain times I thought I didn't care for the contraception.
Part of me, are you not watching us on video?
Yeah,
Andrew did
I
just
hate
change
that
his
I'm
name
laughing
to
at it right
King
now.
of Contraception, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he did that on purpose or not. I'm not confident.
I think he did, and that's what makes me mad that I'm
I
laughing.
think
at
I
it.
really wanted to see you guys are paying attention.
He said bestiality earlier, so instead of bestiary, so there is a possibility. He thinks that's how you write contradiction. There is a possibility. We cannot rule that out. We don't know. That might be what he thinks contradiction looks like. That is
We're
not
off
good.
the rails.
That's the public school system, everyone. If you want an example to send your kids to private schools,
Yeah,
just
because
look at Andrew
public
right now.
schools know about contraception, right, Aaron?
They know how to spell contradiction, Andrew.
You see, like Aaron was a teen dad.
Yeah, like,
Right, Aaron? Like you know about that.
like you know. Oh my gosh, Andrew, what the heck? All right.
So
Anyway, the music and sounds are great in this
it's
game.
great. It's so good. So good. We like
The,
it.
honestly, zero complaints. I think.
I was gonna say, like, at times, like, not only does it feel like they don't care enough to like do good with the music, they just make awful grading music. And so it's nice when there's
Yeah.
actually good music that you're glad that it's on in the background.
Wait, are you talking like in other roguelikes?
Yes.
See,
Yes,
I don't know.
compared.
We had a discussion about this during Ball Pit, and because remember the music in Ball Pit's pretty sick, and I remember saying like, I was like, oh, I think this is starting to become a staple in these types of games where they put a really sick soundtrack on top of like this repetitive gameplay, but this is different though. This isn't just like sick beats blasting you in the ears the whole time. Seems like it was actually like well constructed to fit the themes of this game. So
Yeah, and like I said, and the voice acting is all
voice
really
act-
good.
There's a lot of it.
Everybody's everybody's talking. Like you said, there's so much dialogue. Which sometimes got a little annoying. 'Cause some of the dialogue I was actually kind of like, I'm pressing A on this, but I just least loves everything's voice acted, and everything is like just telling the story constantly. I love the voice acting in this game.
it's very good. No, I want to say
Yeah,
no.
I'm
no
with you on
complaints.
there's a couple times that I was hitting it. And I think it was more just like the dialogue when you would just interact with a god picking up a skill or whatever, that sometimes those dialogues would seem interesting. But what I really liked about it though would be the art like on the side of them giving it to you. Like the one in
Ooh, yeah.
particular that comes to mind is
Aphrodite because she's naked.
ooh, I missed that.
What?
Oh, I mean, that's
I did
extra
not.
points.
How did you miss that?
The one I just thought was really cool. It's the one that gives you the hex.
Oh, I thought you were
Maybe-
gonna say Dionysus because he has a huge package.
Again, missed that, but also awesome. Is there a nudity filter for this game?
Awesome.
I just
This
love
episode has
nudity in
gone-
general, Andrew. You
This
know,
episode has
like,
gone way off the rails.
just give me nudity in a game, and I'm happy. Doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, I thought those like little arts cutscenes or whatever were really interesting. I liked those, but the graphics too for this game, for a roguelike, nice. I like that he's wearing a cheetah thong.
And
too.
they gave
That
him a
was
big old
extra.
bulge.
Banana hammock.
Well, now I know I'm picking him every time.
Yikes.
Really, that's gonna be my run is Aphrodite and him. But yeah, the game, like the overall, like the overworld, the art style of the characters, all of it is really, really cool, and I like it. It's got almost like a cartoonishness to it, but yeah, I liked it. Andrew's laughing still about I don't know what.
Yeah, he is.
Probably
has
still
got-
chuckling at his own jokes.
He is just losing it over here.
All right, now
We
I'm
need
laughing.
to talk about it. Do we?
Hades 2
I mean-
fans, we need to talk about the Dionysus bulge. Like, this is an article somebody wrote.
I love the idea. Like we need to.
I know,
Like,
guys,
this
this
is gone too far.
Like, what's wrong with it? What do we need to talk about?
Hades
It's-
2 is a sexy game.
I mean, that lines up.
Yeah.
Did anyone play Hades 1? Hades 1 was a sexy game. I actually can't
Oh my
remember.
Oh yeah, I love the art style in this game because I like the characters are very creative. Like they obviously are going over the Greek gods, but they obviously have their own kind of flair to them. And yeah, they do such a good job with just kind of giving their personality because they're all still images, which even as a still image, they're gorgeous because they're almost like a holographic card where like they have parts of them that kind of sheen over and over again. It's a super nice little touch because I mean, they play a lot of games where the characters are just talking cardboard cutouts, but like they at least went the extra mile to like add a little flair to them to show you these are Greek gods, like they're supposed to be kind of classy and stuff.
They're fancy.
Yeah, visually, this game looks like Visually, I have no complaints on this game. It is a stunningly beautiful game. I 100% agree with you. Even the still art looks great. I mean, visually, I've got no complaints. Audio-wise, I have no complaints. I think they're practically perfect.
I'm just waiting for the butt there.
I'm just, I know, I'm reading a little bit more of this article. I like this title here. The bulge represents how far Dionysus has fallen.
What?
But apparently, the more you fall, you get a bigger bulge. You
What?
fall more often, apparently.
Now I've been doing it wrong.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, the achievements though, I would not recommend this game for achievement hunters. It's going to take you that 102 hours to probably get all the achievements. It does feed you a good amount of achievements, I guess, at the beginning, because every time you clear an area, you get an achievement. But man, yeah, after a while, the achievements dry up, and it's a lot of grind, a lot of grinding to get the achievements in this game.
Yeah, I think I have one.
Nice.
But
Keith.
I've, well, again, definitely have not put in the same amount of hours, but yeah, just one.
All right, let's get our final thoughts on Hades 2 here. As I said at the beginning, Hades 2, this was a game. This is a definite game. This is a fantastic roguelike. Like, if you like this genre, you're going to love this game. I don't think you can go wrong picking Hades 1 or 2, and I don't think you need to play either one of them. If you're like, oh, I'm only going to play one of them, you could pick either of them. You'll be just as happy. It won't affect the story. It won't affect really anything. To me personally, I think I just liked Hades 1 slightly better, just because to me I liked the story of it going a little bit more. But there's a ton of things in Hades 2 I absolutely love. I actually love that you have these two different paths. So you're not constantly revisiting the same areas over and over again. It kind of switches things up of, oh, I'll do the overworld this time. I'll do the underworld this time. I love the weapons in this one. I feel like I like the weapons a little bit more. It's been a while since I played the first one. But I felt like in the first one, I felt like there was only one weapon I didn't like. In Hades 2, not a fan of the axe. Not too much of a fan of the staff that you first start with. But I loved the flames, and I loved the skull. Like, those two are my favorite. If I was getting a run with those two, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great run. But once again, you don't have to pick these weapons. But obviously there's perks to picking some weapons that you're going to do the run with. You'll get extra currency with. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to play that weapon then. But yes. Anyway, Hades 2 is just a game where, oh, I'm going to turn my brain off and relax. It's not that kind of roguelike. It's not Ball Pit. This one, you got to focus. You got to really kind of play and pay attention to. But it's a great trip worth visiting because the story's great, music's great, graphics are great. Yeah, this is easily a 93 for me.
Yeah, I know. I know. I said I didn't play as much of this, but I think not to its discredit at all. Hades 2 to me felt so much in all the right ways, like Hades 1, and just more of it. It just felt like I was unlocking new things, but the gameplay felt familiar. It felt comfortable, and for someone who loved the first Hades, it was just great. So I loved everything about it, and I know as long as it stays on Game Pass, I'm going to continue loving it. I do kind of wish, like Andrew said, well, you didn't really say this, but I kind of wish they would give an opportunity to overlap to give people the opportunity to play both. I get why they don't, because now they can get people to buy one or the other. All that said, it would be cool, but there is something nice to playing the first one, but you don't need to. This is a game you can absolutely pick up. You don't need to have a background. It's just going to be a little bit probably less accessible maybe in the genre because of that skill-based kind of play style to it.
Oh,
but I don't think it's
sorry to
overly
interrupt.
punishing.
Did any of you guys check? Was there accessibilities in this game?
That's a good question. I actually
I didn't.
don't know.
Ah,
Because
yeah, I
I don't
usually
want to say
look it up
even
and-
Dead Cells, but Dead Cells has added it since. So there's a good chance Hades might have as well. The first
Yeah.
one might have even had some.
Anyway,
You
sorry
can
to
look that
interrupt,
up
Keith.
while I'm talking on this. So I'm not going to assign or dock points from it, but I guess that would be the only thing that I think would make it not worth playing. But realistically, I almost think it would be a discredit to the game in some ways to not give the accessibility, because ultimately so much of what it is built on, despite what I think I was saying earlier, is that this is built on the story. So the gameplay is a lot of fun, but you can still enjoy the story without the gameplay if that's something you're into. So I think it would be nice to just be able to experience it however you want to experience the game. That said, I loved everything about it. I'm going to continue to. I'm going to probably pour another 30 hours into this game over time. I would say a 90.
I actually knew the answer to this question and I forgot. But yeah, there is actually God mode. A toggleable mode that increases damage resistance starting at 20% and increasing slightly with each death, allowing for easier progression through the story.
Oh, and then does it like, because I think the first one did this too, actually, and then
I
it
think
like
it did too,
resets
yeah.
if you actually get through it. So it kind of, yeah, it kind of buffers you throughout to the point where you need it, and then resets you back, like, you know, to give you an
Slowly gonna
opportunity.
push you through.
Yeah, I actually really like that a lot.
Yeah.
91 bonus point. I lied.
There you go.
You're 91 now, Keith?
I'm now the prince of contradiction.
Contraception. Yeah, this one was a little bit of a surprise for me. Like I had mentioned at the beginning, was not a fan of the first one just because I didn't understand the genre, so the game itself just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But after playing this, it's one of those, oh man, I kind of want to go back and try the other one as well, just to see what I missed on that. I know obviously it's been a fan favorite for people for a really long time. The gameplay's tough, but I wouldn't say it's not rewarding if you're decently good. It can be a lot of fun, and it does. It feels rewarding when you.
Oh,
Entirely.
I think
off.
I just...
Did you just kick him out of here?
No, I don't know what I did.
He was mid conversation. There he is.
Hello?
Wonder if his camera will come back.
Okay, I was like, I could hear you guys. I could see you guys.
Okay.
I couldn't talk. Sorry, Andrew just kicked me out for some reason. It literally said I was kicked out of the main stage.
Did it really?
And that's what it told me.
Gosh.
So I could just
You were
like
saying
see you
offensive
guys and not
things.
say anything. All that to
All right,
say,
start over
game,
again here.
game is awesome. 95.
He knew you
Wow,
were
you
about
gave
to
it the
start
highest
dropping
score.
racial slurs, Aaron. That's why he kicked you out.
There just wasn't much I didn't like about the game. There just wasn't. I couldn't think of much that I walked away from that and said, I really wish they didn't do that. Andrew had more complaints on the story than I did. I thought the story was maybe I'm just being a little light on it because the game type that it is, those are not typically a story heavy games. So
And you also don't have the first one to compare it to. So
they also don't have the first one to compare it to. So for me, I was just having a blast with this. I mean, Andrew did make some good points, but
Ooh,
still.
you said I made good points.
you did make some good
Well, I
points
mean,
on the
there's
story.
Rocket
You're not,
Launcher, so that's
you're not completely wrong. You did make some good points on the story for this being kind of like an end of the world, like Olympus is under siege. There is a lack of urgency happening. So that's not a bad dig. I think that actually kind of makes sense.
Do you think now then with that score, do you think this is a contender for your game of the year then?
It's going to be close. I'm having a lot of fun with that. I'm going to be honest with you though. You know what else is taking up a lot of my time right now? Diablo 4, because that new expansion is awesome.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I've been loving it.
I mean,
I've
we
been
might have
having
to. Well, might have to do an episode on that then.
so much fun on that expansion.
All right. Well, and I guess we'll wrap it up here. Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us. I've been your hardcore gamer, Andrew. You can check me out on Xbox Live at Firebird Zoom 952. Please make sure you go to GamePassGrabBag.com. You can see our website, see all our past reviews, check out some games we've played. Join our Discord, join our YouTube. Tell us what games we should play. Comment on our Spotify episodes. Always love hearing from you all. But until next week, love you all. See you again next week.
And go on our episode and comment King of Contradiction for Andrew, because that's who he is.
This episode was a disaster.
It was. It was great.
Fun to you.
I got kicked out of it at one point.
Andrew's first week.